All right, everybody, we're outside today doing something a little bit different. This is for a video for beginners. I have several stuff or things drawn out here on a block of wood. It's 2 by 2 by 12 inches long. And today I wanted to show you some very basic cuts, but yet they do come in handy in just about every carving that you see. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, and we'll go over some of the cuts and the knives that we'll use. We'll just use it all with a knife. I'll put my glove on, and you know what, I'm gonna do this with my pocket knife, which I absolutely love. This is my everyday carry. I bought this knife from a very good friend of mine. This is a Case Carpenter Whittler. It's got the 6380. That's the pattern, the blades, and the handle material, and the number. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and use this modified blade of mine, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, these little U-shape that I made, I call this my rolling gouge cut. And you take the blade, kind of angle it a little bit, and you just want to kind of roll the blade and kind of push at the same time. So as you can see, just kind of roll, push, and it makes a gouge cut. We're just going to go through here, and I'll tell you why I'm doing this type of cut. Is in certain carvings, say for instance you got a Santa and he's wearing a robe, or some kind of wizard, or something kind of, you know, just whatever. But anyway, this could be clothing. You see how that's wavy at the end of that block? You know, if I can position it right for you guys to see, it could be, well, I mean, it could really be anything, but that's what comes to my mind is fabric. You can give it movement, and you can do certain ones longer and deeper than the other ones, kind of layering it maybe. And just curling that knife or that blade gives it a nice effect. It's not hard to do. It just takes some practice. And clean cuts are wonderful. And sometimes I don't always get clean cuts, but I strive to do so because it makes your carving look a lot better. And anyway, that's the rolling cut. So what you do is angle your blade like so, and you're gonna go like in this motion, kind of you're gouging it out. So you're pushing and rotating that blade at the same time. It does a gouge cut, okay? The next cut is going to be a stop cut, and we're gonna relief that cut. And this is also angled. You know, we come over here, we can do a stop and relief cut the same way, but it's just straight across. With a stop and relief cut, we're very mindful of where our positioning of our fingers are at. We're wearing our glove, we got a good grip on the knife, and our thumb is very free to do whatever. And what I mean by that, it's free to help anchor or balance the blade up against the wood. This is a very comfortable grip for me. So you'll place blade on there. What I like to do is, you'll see my hand, and it's very controllable, guys. That's what you want. You want a controllable cut, and just come across, okay? All right, we're done. So we anchor that thumb And these thumbs are your friends, so use your thumbs as anchor points to make a cut. So we come back under that, push cut, which we are doing here. And our thumb is, again, this is the kind of grip I'm using. Putting the thumb on top of the knife handle, using my other thumb as a scissor action that will help you push and relieve that cut. Okay, so we stopped right there. We made our stop cut. Go back and re-cut to get your stop and relief cut out. Same thing, place it here. And yes, we are putting a little bit of pressure on the cuts as we pull with our hand. Place blade up under there. Don't go too far. Come back down. And another stop and relief cut, as you can see. All right, now as you guys can see, that looks like a forehead and the bottom of a nose. And that's how simple it is to get the basic form of a nose, stop and relief cut. All right, now a push cut is, if you come down here, a push cut is nothing more than what it is. It's pushing and slicing through the wood and relieving that cut. Again, push cut. Okay, this is, a lot of whittlers use this and a lot of wood carvers use this. I'd say the whittlers are some of your best wood carvers because they use only, sometimes they only use a pocket knife, and it comes in handy in competitions because some of the competitions, that's all that you can use is a knife or a pocket knife. So that is the push cut. And again, using my thumb, this is what it looks like. That's the grip. That bird is singing, isn't he? All right, so placing my other thumb and pushing along, just like so. Gets your push cut. This is very good practice. Very good practice. Take the whole corner of the section of block of wood that you're using and do only push cuts and relief cuts, or stop and relief cuts. Like you can angle this. All right, so we're just going to follow our line. Angle it. Come back down. So we got our thumb anchored over here, and just like we did over here, pulling it, we're just going to come back at a slicing angled cut and relief that, just like so. And that looks like the beginnings of a nose to me. If you add maybe another cut here and another cut coming over here, well, we'll get into that in a minute, but anyway, it's a small chip cut and a relief cut under there. There's your smile line. Okay, I'm gonna leaf that right fast because that's gonna bug me. All right. Okay, so stop and relief cuts. It's as simple as just following your line. Again, you just get different sizes and shapes of wood. It's gonna help you, and just play around with it, but just, follow that line, your tip of your knife, coming right down, pulling, and repositioning this thumb in your hand. Come on down, stopping right there. For me, it's easier to flip over and kind of angle my blade, stop it where we start at where we stopped at, angle that blade. This is what it looks like. I got my thumb back here, all my fingers are safe. Come back, pull, and your knife should be very good and sharp to where you're not forcing the cut. That cut should come right out. Again, follow your line, do it over here, just like so. Relief cut it. Sometimes you can just pull them right out. Prefer to cut it out, but it's really, you know, just practice, guys. For you beginners, if all you have is a knife, I suggest using and getting familiar with some of these cuts. That will help you. I was the same way. You know, it took me time to acquire all the tools that I have. So, anyway, so, you know, you can use a knife just about anything. So, you know, as a curve, to make maybe a hair float in a beard, you would just draw it on there, and just kind of small S curves or little C cuts. Well, you know, it comes right out, and you can do, you know, something like, you know, S curve, like hair flow would look like. Maybe you could just follow that. If they don't come out, you may have to recut it, or come back from the other side and do it, which looks like a V cut if you do it from both sides. Sometimes it'll tear out, but that's fine. Like so. Okay. The chip cuts that I like to use for my wood spirit mouths. It's just as simple as just following your dot to dots that I like to put on there. And for this, we will use the pencil grip because it's comfortable for me. And I will first start off with the regular grip, traditional grip. And what I'll do is, again, just like so, come down and stop. You can almost just push it in, guys, to where you won't almost have to pull, because it's not that far of a cut. So you just kind of lay your blade in there and just stop it. Now, all we did is those two cuts. We haven't cut the bottom of it out yet to relief it. And what I would like to do is start from this point. It's almost like the gouge cut, but you have to push in and slice to where this we made this stop cut over here. We're going to relief cut it with a slicing, but we're gonna push in as well. So it's like the gouge cut. And again, it doesn't come out too clean, so we'll just recut it, and it should come out. So that gives you a better idea of how that slicing cut looks like. And again, you know, everybody would love to have good clean cuts, and it's doable with practice and a good sharp knife. So again, dot to dot, rock that blade back in there, and you know, find anchor points that will help you stabilize the cut. Like my pinky is way over here, but that and my ring finger is up under it. So I'm very stable. It's very doable. And just follow that cut. And again, point to point, slicing, pushing cut. Recut it. Okay, so that's that. And these cuts will help you in the long run. They really will, because that's the basic cuts are what you know, I guess you're supposed to build upon them. That's how I did it. But like this, like a you know, play with shapes. And I know we got my pocket knife out here. I'll use that one for the rest of this. But it's just play with different shapes, follow your lines, practice. makes perfect, or that's what they supposedly say. But you know, it's the same thing. I got my thumb anchored. I'm using my, you know, this is very free and it's very relaxed and secure. And it's like, well, how would you cut that out? Well, just take the chip cuts out in the corner, as you know, it's kind of slicing motion. Take a little bit out at a time and just kind of whittle and just kind of recut it if it don't come out clean. And just play with different shapes. But you know, we could use something as that could be whittled out as like maybe a button on a shirt, or some kind of belt buckle on a belt, or just different things. But it takes time to get better. I guess good things are worth waiting on, but it also takes practice. But you beginners, don't get frustrated if you don't have clean cuts, or it tears out, or I'm not doing it the right way. Yeah, you're doing it the right way. It just takes practice. You just be very careful on how you position your hands, and make sure that your knife is very good and sharp, and stropped up, ready to go. I will say that you should never be forced into a cut. And what I mean by that is, if you're doing a cut, say like this, you're doing a real big push cut and you're just shaking, trying to, don't ever do that. That's not, number one, you're taking too much off, and you'll eventually get there with the multiple cuts. Number two, your knife could be dull. And number three, it's dangerous, because if you slip and cut you or someone else, you could, you know, it's not going to be very fun. So that is some of the basics, and there's one more I would like to show you guys, and that it helps me, believe it or not, see if my blade is sharp, and that's called a pull cut. And you take your block of wood, and I kind of angled, I'm coming straight across here. We're gonna make a plane coming across here, and just my thumb is anchored, my fingers are out of the way, the blade's coming towards me. People say, well, you shouldn't cut toward yourself. Well, sometimes you just have to, and if you do it the right way, it's very safe and doable. This is what a push cut does. This is the position and the knife in my hand that I've got. This is free, anchored against the wood. We're gonna do a cut like this, okay? I am very controlled, and I can stop that blade anywhere I want because it's very controllable. Make sure you got a good grip on your material that you're using, and pull. And see how I stopped that right there at the very end, and come through with a slice and cut. It's a little bit more, very controlled. It's a pull cut. Same thing. And if I wanted to stop it right there, I can. If I want to stop it right there, I can. And eventually you'll just get real proficient and just keep, you know, really get after it. And sometimes you can take chunks off, but I would just highly recommend just enjoy whittling and getting to know your tools and what you can do with different cuts. Okay. And also use good material, guys. I grew up carving cedar and black cherry and walnut, and when I get my hands on some basswood, I was like, wow, okay, I know why they carve this stuff now, because it's actually carvable. I'm not saying that the other woods aren't, it's just I would highly recommend using, for beginners, a piece of basswood or butternut. Butternut is also good, and I also would recommend white pine. White pine is not too bad. It just depends on what you can afford mainly, and what is readily available to you guys, but my first choice and recommendation is basswood, northern basswood. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for the comments that you guys leave. I enjoy reading them. If you have any more questions, please comment and let me know what you guys think about this video. Hope it does help. If you would, like and subscribe and give me a likes, thumbs up button, please. More videos are to come your way. In the meantime, y'all get to practicing and have fun doing it, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.